Nigerians, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. This is a True Nigerian 23 coming up to you this morning to talk about this issue ongoing now. This has gone viral regarding Senator Adamu Bukashua confession in the House of Senate. To me, it's quite shameful where the Senate president is saying that it's an insinuation. How can you say that I don't know about it? This is what we all know as Nigerian masses that has been going on all through our democracy. Democracy where people go on to make laws and they are being pressured to change decisions based on needs of a common, based on the needs of the few in the house. So he cannot tell us that it's an insinuation made by Senator Bukashua, 83 years old senator, who is leaving power. So to me, he's at his peak. He has nothing to lose because he said it, that at 83 years old, he cannot lobby anyone under the sun. So he's ready to face it, which I believe that whatever he said is like a man asking for help. He must have stepped on a lot of people's toes to favor a few powerful politicians in the House of Senate. And he said it, that he's looking at them, looking at everyone, that he's looking at a few of them as well, and they know themselves. And it's not hiding, he has no reserve. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said what he said. I think he just, in my own opinion, is trying to make a statement that all those that he has helped, no one have helped him. Or maybe they're not coming to say thank you enough. Okay, we don't know exactly what about transpired between him and those that he has helped, or he has stepped on toes and toes that have pressured him and his wife to change decisions. And I believe some people out there are suffering already because of the decisions that have been made under pressure of the powerful few in the House of Senate to his wife. So he's a man that have come up to say, I've helped A, B, C, D, E, and they've not done enough for me. Hence, I want an apology from them. That's the straight way to say it. And he's also apologizing to his wife that maybe all these people that we have helped, they're not coming to say thank you enough. I apologize to you for using your office to help them. Maybe that's what he's trying to tell us. So I will be looking forward to a further investigation on this confession. It's not just an allegation. It's not an insinuation because Senate President knows better. And he can as well. I want the Senate President to be questioned on what he knows about all this because it seems like he knows so much about it. Trying to shut this 83 years old man down for making a confession. I understand it's a wrong place to make it, but where else can he make it? He wants Nigerians to know about what has gone wrong. Because this is a new government that's trying to make a statement that they want to fight corruption. So where is the best place to make it? Where is the best place to fight corruption if not the House of Senate? The arms of government that make laws for us all. So this issue of insinuation should be put down the drain. It is not an insinuation. It's a confession to Nigerians to pardon him. From my heart, I pardon this man and I love him so much for coming up to say the truth of what he has done and confessing to us that he is sorry for whatever he has done wrong to his wife, which every honest person will do, probably not this way, but behind doors, but he's a true Nigerian. After all, he's 83 years old. What else has he got to hide? So I will see the security agencies and thank the NBA for coming out to make some statement that are going to investigate this. And I want this to go forward to investigate him, investigate his wife, investigate the Senate president on what has gone wrong and who are the ones suffering it. And as well, I want to empower all those that have been, whose cases have been looked into or presided by Zainab Bukashua when she was in power, when she was the president between 2014 April to March 2020, when she was the NBA president in the Court of Appeal. All those cases that she has handled, it would be nice to look back into them. And anyone that whose cases have been misled to be looked in again and see where a proper justice can be done so that we have a closure as a government, we have a closure as Nigerians, and we go forward from there. And laws should be made going forward as to who is presiding against whose case. And so that all this pressure from senators would never happen again. Any encroachment from those in power can be handled properly and made to rest,
of the
so that
Court
we
of
have a
Appeal.
Nigeria where justice
sure I'm
The single senator, Adam Ahmed Mukacho, I think I would advise that you just round up and take your seat.
name. We know ourselves.
No, but this kind of insinuation will mean that there was favor, there was this and the rest of it. I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I must say that, okay, to round up, since that's what you want me to do, I will do that. And I must thank particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good idea going this direction. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea, please.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today I've come down with the news that's currently going viral, where that state man, Edwin Clark, a 90 years old veteran of Delta State, is coming out to challenge outgoing governor of Delta State, Okowa, to come and show what he did with our 13% derivation fund, which is the oil windfall that's come from given to all Niger Deltans from their oil reserve, which goes to the nation. So it's a share of the oil fund that comes into Nigeria. So it's 30% of it goes to all states from Niger Delta. So all this while, the government have been owing the Niger Delta the sum of 625.43 billion from 1999. This was what they owe them. So the government have made that payment, and Governor Wike of Rivers State, former Governor Wike of Rivers State, have come out to challenge Okowa, the former Delta State Governor, to show what he did with his money that was paid to him. According to Okowa and his cronies, they said that they got 14.9 billion, which was paid in batches of it was paid divided into three batches, which is about 4.something billion that they got every term. But up till now, we can't really see what they did with all the money that passed through them. That's different from the allocation that states normally get. So what have we done with 14.9 billion that they received from 1999 up till date? It's a sad story to hear that our leaders have been ripping us off all this long, which we knew from our former leaders, former Delta State governor, who have looted billions of naira and ended up in trench. And now another one have come again, Okowa, to do the same thing, and nothing is happening, which is a sad story. So I want everyone to look at it and see exactly where we've been looted and how they can get those monies back. Okowa, which is the outgoing governor, he have to come and tell us. If he can't if he can't open up to tell us what he did with the money, then now it's time to invite the security agencies to come in and get him probed for where those money went to. Because we can't continue like debtors this way. We have no good roads, no good pipe on water, no good infrastructures. We don't even have the train line coming to in Delta State for now. We don't have any good hospitals. So what are they done with the money? Our people are suffering, dying every day. No free medical. That is sad to hear of a Delta State, or that they claim to be one of the oil city as well. So it's something to be looked at, and I charge all our youth to come up and ask questions and not to be reliant on what's just been told by them, by the governor and our leaders, because our leaders are so heartless and have been looting us for too long. It has to be stopped and stopped today. So we all have to stand up and speak out to see how our children and children's children will be happy with the state they call theirs tomorrow. Thank you very much. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can get instant shots whenever I post it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For the list of the banks, I've written to him. What are these companies? Private companies. So, Kowa has embezzled our money. It's not even accounted for in his annual budget. Is it a part of security fund? It's very nepotic. So we cannot. We founded Delta State. I'm a stakeholder, the oldest stakeholder. I cannot keep quiet. Cannot be criticizing federal government every time. Oh, you are taking our money. When those at home who receive the money, their monthly allocation is higher than every other state, in addition to the 13%.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The Delta State government has debunked reports credited to Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike that it had collected refunds from the federal government without disclosing it to citizens, saying it only received 14.7 billion naira. Wike had, during the inauguration of the Port Harcourt campus of the Nigerian Law School last Friday, said President Muhammadu Buhari had approved and paid the arrears of 13% derivation to Rivers, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, and Akwa Ibom states. The governor said President Buhari's gesture was the major source of revenue for his projects, including the flyovers, the law school, and the cancer center. But the Delta State Commissioner for Finance, Chief Fidelis Tilije, said contrary to the revelation by Wike, Delta State only received 14.7 billion naira in 3 quarterly installments of 4.9 billion naira each.
Nigerian presidents are here. You guys are good chess players. Looking at what's going on currently in Nigeria, where the president, Bola Tinubu, is currently firing all those in positions, strategic positions. The one I'm most happy about is the Emefiele's indefinite suspension from position. That has been well due. Currently, it's under this custody of the DSS, being interrogated and being charged for 10-count charge, including money laundering and terrorism. Mr. Emefiele is one of them that overused his power to punish Nigerians with the monetary policy, which led to the new Naira note that was redesigned. Emefiele, that redesigned policy is something we've been questioning all over Nigeria. What is going on? Whereby people died waiting for their money. People died going to the bank to ask for their own money because they don't have money to take their loved ones to the hospitals. People died traveling from one place to the other to look for money. People are now buying Naira in Nigeria. Okay, if you need 10,000 naira, you pay about 3,000 naira to get 10,000. Each at the end of the day, you're losing 3,000 to get 10,000. It was a sad event. Naira was sold in the street. We have more dollars than naira in circulation then, even up to God knows how long that is going on for now. So it's a sad thing that in our own country we are selling naira on the street. That's how bad the Naira redesign policy was, and the then government was in support of it. They said that they are trying to avoid vote buying for the last presidential election, but people were dying. So those we know before now, know that this man is time to go. Even the way he used his power, up to the extent he went through the primaries for presidential campaign while still in office, which is totally not in line with the CBN Act. So that's been going on, and he is currently under custody of the DSS, and is being replaced by his deputy to carry on from where they stopped. Though his tenure is due to leave office anytime soon, but it's going under the custody of the DSS.
We're still on the coverage of the suspension of Godwin Emefiele. We can now confirm to you through an exclusive footage obtained by TVC News that the former governor is now in DSS custody. In a press statement by Public Relations Officer, Department of State Services, the Department of State Services hereby confirms that Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the suspended governor of the central bank, is now in custody for some investigative reasons. The public, particularly the media, is enjoined to apply utmost caution in the reportage and narratives concerning this. Details are sketchy, but what we can confirm is that the CBN governor is now in DSS custody, and we're confirming that through an exclusive footage obtained by TVC News. All right, that's the footage there, the exclusive footage obtained by TVC, where you can see that the DSS now has the former governor of the or suspended governor of the CBN in custody. There was a press statement released by the Public Relations Officer of the Department of State Service.
Like I was saying, this new government is a Maradona. He knows how to play chess game. The guy is good on what he does. Before I go any further, this is another suspension indefinitely of EFCC chairman, the top security outfit in the country, who have been following all those that they said that they are corrupt. All corrupt practices are dealt with by the EFCC. Today, he has been arrested and is currently under the custody of the DSS. I want to believe it's not a win shot by Bola Tinubu and his government against all Buhari's appointees, or for it not to be political. However, they are all from the same party. So I want to believe it's not political. I want to believe he's not trying to pull his wings to like threaten everyone around him that he is now in charge, and whoever makes messes up, he'll be arrested. Those kind of things, not to send that kind of message. So I want to understand that it's a due process whereby anyone that has done anything criminal against the state will be punished. So that I stand for. If EFCC chairman, Mr. Abdul Rashid, have done anything incriminating, or if he's found guilty, he should face the music like everyone else. Any abuse of power whatsoever he has done, he deserves a fair hearing. So that I'll look forward to see the judgment come true, and when it's taken to court, and I'll bring it to light again. Yeah, for you all to see and listen. It's our country, it's the only one we have for now, and let's protect it. Thank you. God bless.
President Bola Tinubu suspends Bawa indefinitely from office as Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. President Bola Tinubu has approved the indefinite suspension from office Mr. Abdulrashid Bawa as the Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to allow for proper investigation into his conduct while in office. This follows weighty allegations of abuse of office leveled against him. Mr. Bawa has been directed to immediately hand over the affairs of his office to the Director, Operations in the Commission, who will oversee the affairs of the Office of the Chairman of the Commission pending the conclusion of the investigation.
America, you guys are good. Wow. Former President Donald Trump is currently undergoing another court case in Miami, Florida, regarding how he mismanaged his office of handling of classified documents under his care. He's been called upon. This is not the first time. The last time was in a different state, and now he's doing it in Miami, 2 hours plus from his house in Mar-a-Lago, to face federal charges against him. This is a top man, the one-time most powerful man in the world, currently facing charges. This will never happen in Nigeria, and this is a thing of it's a lesson for Nigerians to learn from. That a true democracy is the way forward. We cannot hide from it. We cannot shy away from it, because that's what we practice. A system where past leaders can be called upon to question their deeds in office and after office. A place where leaders can be challenged. A place where no one is above the power. No one is above the law. You watch this video that comes next and see how democracy speaks for itself. Thank you very much, and listen to this and share more lights and share among you all. Thank you.
All eyes are on Florida. The former President Donald Trump is due to appear in court again, this time over his mishandling of classified documents. A second indictment is never going to have the drama of the first one, which was only a couple of months ago. But in legal terms, this is way bigger. These are federal charges. So this is the United States of America saying its former commander-in-chief needs to be put on trial for allegedly jeopardizing the country's national security. This is the federal courthouse in Miami, where a grand jury has been gathering evidence against Donald Trump. He is expected to hand himself in and plead not guilty. Like his arrest in April, he will be fingerprinted, but in New York, he wasn't handcuffed, there wasn't a mugshot, so that's likely to be the case here too. Donald Trump has said he's going to fight these charges and claims he has done nothing wrong. So why Florida? Well, prosecutors want Donald Trump to face a jury in the place where the alleged crimes took place. The courthouse is about 2 hours away from Mar-a-Lago, where Trump lives. And the case will initially be handled by a judge Trump appointed himself. So it'll be pretty hard for him to argue that he won't get a fair hearing. The trial of a man running to be president again could extend well into the 2024 campaign season, or even beyond the election.
Joining me now, Donald Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen. He's the host of the Mea Culpa podcast and the author of the book, Revenge. Michael, you know Donald Trump very, very well. Do you think in your mind that he was ever going to opt for an option of taking a settlement instead of battling this out in public?
No, so Donald's position is never to settle, ever, because he thinks it's a sign of weakness. Unfortunately, he didn't have anybody around him to guide him properly. He's like a petulant child that just keeps sticking their finger into an electric socket. And then you keep saying, don't do it, you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But nevertheless, he's going to do it anyway, because in his mind, he knows better. And then you have somebody, for example, like a Boris Epstein, who will turn around and will say to him, yeah, you're right, Donald, stick your finger into the socket. It's good, you can do it. Instead of guiding him like many of us used to in the past and say to him, no, you can't do that. All right, think about how many of these matters right now would not even exist had he listened to somebody who was providing him just a scintilla of good advice. Just a scintilla.
And I think a lot of people look at this and wonder, was anybody telling him to just give the documents back? And this reporting really confirms that people were. And according to the Washington Post, this was just one of several times that those lawyers tried to move Trump to prevent what basically unfolded in court. When you hear that, I mean, what do you think got Trump to the point where holding on to documents was more important than staying out of real legal jeopardy here?
First of all, I don't buy the nonsense that people were telling him not to hold on to it. Number one, he wouldn't listen. But number two, nobody really has, the cojones enough to turn around and to tell Donald that you need to send it back. In fact, the proof in the pudding is that you had people like Evan Corcoran, or you had people like what's her name, Bob, the other attorney who signed affidavits to the government. Christina Bob, right, stating that they had searched the premises, that there were no documents that were left on Mar-a-Lago or in other locations that Donald had control over. So I don't buy the story that people were telling him to return it. Now, that doesn't mean that there wasn't one person that was giving him good advice that he was ignoring. That I'm sure there was definitely somebody. But for the most part, most people don't have what it takes in order to tell Donald that you're wrong, you got to do this, because Donald doesn't want to hear it. And if you do say it, he just terminates you.
Well, yesterday we saw him really projecting this sense of confidence. He went out to the Versailles Cafe in Miami. He was surrounded by the crowds. He did another speech later. But his former chief of staff, John Kelly, who, by the way, doesn't really talk that often, right? He told the Washington Post, quote, and this is a direct quote, excuse the profanity, he said, he's scared shitless. This was the way he compensates for that. He gives people the appearance he doesn't care by doing this. For the first time in his life, it looks like he's being held accountable. Up until this point in his life, it's like, I'm not going to pay you, take me to court. He's never really been held accountable before. Do you agree, Michael, with John Kelly? Do you think Trump tonight is scared?
Yeah, wholeheartedly. John Kelly has nailed it. In fact, today I was in court over at 60 Center Street on the case where I'm taking Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, to trial. My trial starts next month because they refuse to pay legal fees that are owed. So, yeah, Donald does not pay. He will fight you all the way to the end. And like I said, like a petulant child, he will keep sticking his finger into that socket until it really, really hurts. Now, Donald, I'm not talking, of course, that's metaphorically. For Donald, what really, really hurts is when you hit him in the pocketbook, very much like what E. Jean Carroll did. Now, what did he do? Again, you're so right about that, Abby. He does not accept accountability. So he goes out less than 24 hours after being hit with a $5 million verdict. He ends up going out on CNN town hall with Caitlin Collins, and he says the same thing again and again. And now she's going to refile an additional claim against him. Unless you hit him hard in the pocket, Donald Trump doesn't understand accountability. He is, for the very first time right now, seeing accountability on a multitude of different legal matters.
Yeah, but we are talking here about jail timing. Do you think he could really face that penalty?
Yeah, I think he actually knows that jail in and of itself is probably unlikely. And to be honest with you, a lot of people get angry when I say it, especially the Trump detractors. I don't want to see Donald Trump behind bars. I do want to see him ultimately held accountable for his alleged crimes. And if that means a sentence, I believe that the right thing to do would to put him on a very significant home confinement. And I say that because, understand, Donald Trump, despite the fact that he's dumb, he still spent 4 years getting classified debriefings, and the information that's in his head, he's willing to sell out for a bag of tuna or for a book of stamps to anybody that's there. And he would then pose a grave security risk to our country. And I would certainly prefer the safety of Americans to over, Donald Trump behind bars. As much as I'd like to see that, I would rather see America safe than sorry.
And as you know, the Trump team is now looking for lawyers to represent him in the case in Florida. Do you have words of advice for anyone considering taking that job? Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, because, so many people have said it and they've been accurate in their statement. Donald doesn't pay. I mean, I've seen that going on for so many years. He does not pay legal fees, whether you are successful for him or not. Now, if you're not, it's an easier reason for him to tell you that he's not paying. But even if you are successful, he just does not like to pay. He has burnt so many of the top white shoe firms. They have no interest. They have no interest whatsoever in representing him. On top of that, he is an incredibly difficult client because he believes that his knee-jerk reaction, his gut reaction, is always right. When, look, we are seeing it right now. His gut reaction to all of this stuff is wrong. And all of this stuff was easily avoidable. If you take the Washington Post article at face value, and I take the bulk of it at face value, this case, all he needed to do to have shut it down was to return the documents day one. All he needed to do after he got caught with the documents, turn it over. Instead, again, like the petulant child scenario, he just needs to hold on to it. He needs to fight. He will fight for stupid things. Now, that of course, that negates, by the way, Abby, what that does is it negates the real reason why he was holding on to those documents.
Well, Michael, we only have a couple seconds left. I do wonder, does it surprise you to not see really any members of the Trump family, Ivanka Trump, Melania, there with him for all of this that has transpired over the last 24 hours?
Yeah, well, it's true love. There's nothing else I can say about that. Nothing like having your family behind you when the chips are down.
All right, Michael Cohen, thank you very much for joining us.